Episode 31 of the Consistency Podcast is here. My name's Steve from Gloucester, and where to begin with how awesome this past weekend was in Portland. Awesome, 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 awesome. We all have our favorite moments from the weekend, and many people have already filled Twitter with their photos and videos from a perfect live show. And of course, a lot will be discussed, I'm sure, on KMS and all of our network shows in the coming days and weeks. Personally, the opening scene with Gus, Mick, Montante, and Big Steve was absolutely hilarious, as were the onstage performances by Jeff D. Lowe, Mutt, and the Drips, John and Warren, and Pat Ford. The pop from the crowd that Blind Mike got was the best and absolutely well-deserved, as Mike is sincerely one of the nicest people I've ever met. The videos, especially the ones with Justin and Coleman, were epic, and nobody can work a room and make the crowd part of a show like Kirk. This is our version of seeing Elvis or the Beatles at the height of their popularity. I mean, there just isn't anyone in this country who is a better onstage performer than Kirk, and I sincerely mean that. The vision, ideas, and talent he has for putting together and executing a live show is something that words do not justify. He was so focused and determined to make this his redemption show, and he absolutely nailed it. From the funny opening to the closing song, this was Kirk at his best. People will always say how great a live show is, and to finally get a chance to see it and play a very small part of it was just wild. I mean, what a world. And it was tough for sure to keep the Dirty Dancing scene with Kayce Smith under wraps over the past week or so. There was a code of silence. There was an omerta with Kirk, and I did my best to keep it quiet. Nobody knew what was going on. And I definitely had butterflies in my stomach for sure meeting Kayce at rehearsal. But she is genuinely a wonderful person who is very easy to talk to. She was a great sport throughout the day, and it was definitely a pleasure to get to know her a little bit and talk to her, as she is somebody who I definitely admire and am a huge fan of. And with Kirk's help, we put together what we thought would be a fun few minutes for the fans. And to see Kirk raise his arms up with excitement when I lifted Kayce high up in the air was the best. And to know that Kayce enjoyed the evening made it even better. Nobody, and I mean nobody, puts Kayce in the corner. But our scene was just a small part of an epic show. Everyone, from the producers, the band, the onstage talent, the onstage help, the fans, and obviously Kirk, pulled out all the stops to make this an awesome show. It was incredible. Kudos to Kirk and everybody involved for a job well done. But the biggest takeaway from the weekend is truly how supportive, down-to-earth, and great the people in this universe are. As I said, I've never been to a live show, so I was unsure what to expect. What I noticed quickly is just how nice everyone is. It was great to meet a lot of people for the first time, especially my colleagues here on the network. They are all truly good-natured people, and they are what makes this world so much fun to be a part of. I mean, you can't do something nice like helping Jeff D. Lowe with his bags without people seeing it and having fun with it, and I can't believe people saw that. But that is what makes this such a great group to be a part of. It's a family atmosphere for sure, and I truly enjoy being a part of it. The only setback was that I noticed that I forgot one of my bags at my hotel midway back to Gloucester, so I had to turn around to Portland to go get it. But I think my head was just spinning after 2 days of being part of such a special group of people. And hopefully the guys can get a well-deserved break after spending weeks and months preparing for the show. I know Kirk has an upcoming trip to Chicago for the mini golf tournament, and he has commitments with the Unnamed show, but hopefully the guys can get a little bit of a breather in the next few weeks. It will definitely be interesting to see what will be coming up show-related in the next few weeks and months to come. But for now, let's hope the guys can take a well-deserved victory lap for a job well done. Outstanding job, guys. Well-deserved. Of course, there were a couple skunks at the picnic from the other network who tried to ruin the weekend with some very ignorant comments. But what else is new with these social media seagulls? These guys are consistently dreadful. The claim this time was that Kirk was drunk when he entered Gritty's on Friday night. Some people now claim that this was a bit, but where do they get the nerve to say things that are extremely untrue, hurtful, and classless? Nobody, especially me, needs to defend Kirk, but he has been sober for over a decade, and he takes his sobriety very seriously. He also makes it a point to stress how he wants people involved in the show to be sober during the live show performance. So what makes you think he, of all people, would be drunk during a live show? And for the record, Kirk, like a few of us who were there, were 100% sober both at Gritty's and at the State Theater. So for anyone to claim that Kirk was drunk is lying and are wrong. But what else is new with these losers? It's just ignorant. And also, there were complaints about Mike and the Minifans being too short of a show on Friday, but name me 5 celebrities that give free content the day before their live show like Kirk did. And who is anyone to question when Kirk said that he wanted to wrap up the show for the night? There was nothing Blind Mike or anyone could have added that would have been relevant after Kirk left the stage. So why would Mike keep the show going? I mean, it's just common sense to end the show at that point, but some people will never get it. They create their own little drama out of jealousy, and it really needs to stop. Jealousy is such a bad look and a quality in a person. Speaking of the stupid, I cannot close this episode without commenting on Andy Mayo. Uncomfortable topics are often discussed on the show, which we don't mind speaking on for the most part, as Kirk can relate to what some of us are dealing with. And Kirk, for example, asked most of us if our parents are still alive. It's a topic that he's always interested in because, Kirk has lost both of his parents. And I have as well. My mom died in December 2020 and my dad just 6 months ago. And like Kirk, I lost my mom to cancer. Hers was lymphoma and she was close to going into remission, but unfortunately caught COVID during the height of the pandemic and unfortunately passed away. This was brought up multiple times on the show, the last time when I was in studio with Chris Clemmer. And it's not easy to talk about it. I'm definitely choking up a little bit just mentioning it. But in a way, it's cathartic because Kirk has gone through this painful lived experience and can definitely relate with us. So it was very tasteless for Andy Mayo to make an insincere joke about my getting cancer. He then followed it up with more insensitive comments about me telling people that I have cancer with a lisp. This joke, as well as his entire performance, was cringe, and you could just see how frustrated Kirk, Jeff D. Lowe, and the producers were the entire show. Jeff was still exasperated about Mayo when we spoke on Saturday, and it was honestly a welcome to the club moment for Jeff, as there are so many of us who have unfortunately had to be in studio with Mayo. It's almost like we need the creation of an Andy Mayo recovery group so that we can help each other process what we experienced with him. Call it our KMS version of AA. And I know people will say it's Mayo being Mayo, but who wishes cancer on somebody? Just an ignorant bastard like Mayo. He DM'd me after the show saying that what he said was a joke, and he also reached out to people and said that he knows I'm upset with him, but who wouldn't be? When Kirk says things like wishing people illness or wishing them death, you know it's funny because Kirk deep down really doesn't mean it. But try as he might, Andy Mayo will never be Kirk. So he needs to drop this act and say it was a bit, and he needs to grow up. Because again, when Kirk said it, it's funny. But when Mayo says it, it's not. And it's very, very distasteful. Honestly, myself and so many We're truly glad that Mayo didn't attend the live show, as he would have sucked the life out of that evening, just like that guy, I believe Boomer and Haverhill, tried to do at the start of the show by yelling constantly at Kirk before he was kicked out. And I know it won't be the last time we see Mayo and KMS, as Kirk loves to torture us with him, but hopefully Andy looks into better help, as he clearly is someone who desperately needs it, and Mayo should definitely make a point to not contact me again, because I have no interest in talking to him ever again. But not even Mayo can take away what was a brilliant weekend. In a word, it was just awesome. And I definitely cannot wait for the next live show, as I'm hooked for sure. Thank you, Kirk. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are podcast Jesus and the best of the best. That's it for now. Have a great week. Be good to the ones you love, and I'll talk to you soon.